Hey everybody, I'm down here at Spur Track at Cable. I'm trying to do some testing, but I got to wait for a bunch of trains, so thought I'd take this opportunity to do a little tour of the cat tampers. They're sitting here parked. I don't know, I guess they're on their days off. But anyway, people sometimes ask me about some of the track equipment that they see out there doing things, and so I'll do a little run through of the tampers and the regulators. Okay, these are cat tampers. I don't know why they're called cat tampers. I'm pretty sure that CATS you see right there on the side, I'm sure it's an acronym for something. Here I am, there is the number 1 track there, number 2 track over there. I don't want to get any closer than 4 feet from those without positive track protection, so I'm going to stay over here a little bit, so they might look like it's a little close up, but that's all right. There is the operating cab of the tamper there. Not all tampers are this fancy. There's another one back there that's a little less fancy, and they have them that are even less fancy. Now, what the tampers do is they tamp the ballast underneath the ties. Those round deals right there, they open those up, and that piece of equipment drops down. Those clamp underneath the head of the rail and lift the rail up, and these are the actual tampers here. These forks will, as you can see, they go between the ties, and when they lift the rail up, those have shaker boxes on them and hydraulic pumps that force them down under the ties. They vibrate and they tamp the ballast under the ties, make everything nice and firm. And for those of you that don't know, ballast is the rocks, and what those are used for is lateral stability for the tracks. If they didn't have ballast, the tracks would have no lateral stability. Every time a train went around a curve, the track just slide out from under them. When they laid much of the first railroads in the early days, they would just lay the ties on top of the ground and put the rail on it and hope for the best. That caused a lot of accidents. So anyway, that's what ballast is, and there you can see there's some more pieces that ride along the rails there, and I'm not sure what all the functions of those are. That this may be a geometry car, and those tell the tamper excuse me, and those tell the tamper operators whether or not the track is level and at gauge. Again, I'm not sure, but that is Placer and Fuhrer cat tamper. And this piece of equipment is called a regulator, and you can see the little plow on the front of it. Looks like an old cow catcher. And then that piece of equipment there, what this does is they have the ballast trains, bottom dump hopper cars filled with these rocks that they come along and they dump the ballast out. These regulators will come along and they smooth the ballast out, knock it down, and they use those spreaders right there to push the ballast where it needs to be, so it's not none of it's wasted out here in these areas where it doesn't need to be. And then when the tampers are finished, that box on the back there, that triangle shaped box, has a big broom in it that's got very hard pieces of rubber bristles, I guess you would call them. It spins at a high rate of speed, comes by after the tampers, and brushes the ballast away, cleans everything up, and occasionally wreaks havoc with our track wires and our railhead bonds if they're not secured properly. Well, the railhead bonds you can't secure, they just knock those off a lot of times. But then this here is a different style of tamper. It serves the exact same purpose. It works essentially the same way. You can see it has the same type of hydraulic mechanisms that clamp the rail. And same tamper forks, it just has one set less. It doesn't have the following car, the same type of geometry car. There's the motors, hydraulic pumps and everything that run everything. But these do have onboard laser sighting. Walk back up here to the front. That right there with the that right there that has the wheels on it, they set that down, and it's as you can see, it has the wires that run back to the cabs. It has laser sights. They have these lights here that light up and tell them if the track is level and if gauge is correct. And that is all shot from the cab up there. But anyway, as I said, this one's a little different style than the one that we looked at before. Now here's a couple more tampers. Sorry about getting a little breezy. It was dead calm when I pulled up here. Looks like we got a train coming down. Got a flashing yellow signal up there. And then this tamper here is a lot more representative of the tampers that work at the local levels, I guess you could say, regional levels. Those big tampers are generally associated with system gangs. I think this one is too. But anyway, it's a much smaller unit, but it serves the same purpose. It's just as effective as the large ones. And sometimes we have problems at switches or at various locations where the roadbed under a switch or a signal location or whatever gets bad, and they'll bring one of these smaller tampers in and tamp that location, get everything firmed up. And there's the cab that it is operated from. So anyway, there you have a quick tour of the tampers and regulators and all the knowledge I have about them. We'll see everybody later.
Box 8, 30 grams twain, CPS 3356, main 2, switch no, CPS 3361, main 2, switch no, joint, block 1130, that's one box marked 8, okay at 947, CC. Yeah, regulator understands 2-29, Gary, Xbox 8, 30 grand at F, between CPSC 356, main 2 switch no, CPSC 361, main 2 switch no, joint 1130, one box 8, 947 CC, right? That's correct. That's also correct. Everything's line frame out. Up everything line. Regulator off stop CPSC 354, limit to 10, CPSC 361, main 2, snow out.
That was the dispatcher giving tracking time to a regulator from CPSP 354, which is down in Marcel, all the way through Tehachapi, which means he's not going to give me the time I need to work here at Cable, because they just gave him time through here. But anyway, he was the dispatcher talking to them, and then the
main track out.
And that's the regulators talking to each other about getting going. They're occupying the main track right now. As far as what the dispatchers do, they're always dealing with people who need tracking time. I use this system right here, which is called the remote authority system. I get tracking time with my computer whenever possible. Every once in a while I can't get a connection on the internet, so I don't do that, but The dispatcher still has to go in and okay that stuff. The dispatchers also have to keep trains moving. They have to figure out track speeds and where trains are and what would be the most efficient places to get trains to meet. And I don't envy those guys their jobs and those girls. I don't envy them at all. Right now, sitting here at Cable, looking north. It's Highway 58 in the background.
Number you should be 5-4, time extends, you should be 5-6. It should be 361, main track 2. Over.
Here the track guys making a correction on their tracking time. But anyway, the dispatchers have a really busy job. I don't envy them that. They tend to remain pretty cool despite all the pressure they're under. And just thought I'd mention that. And this is one of the tampers at work. You can see the hydraulically actuated tampers and forks going in between the ties, tamping everything down. This one actually uses clamps instead of round wheels to lift the rail. Got here a little too late. Looks like they're still dumping ballast up ahead, but they're not using a train. You can see the regulator working up there, cleaning up the ballast behind this guy. Actually looks like he's still spreading. He will broom behind him. I don't know if I'm going to stick around that long. That's what they're doing. This is just to highlight some of the damage that tampers and regulators do to our equipment. These are Railhead Bonds. Supposed to be 2 of them here. Railhead Bonds ensure the continuity of the track circuit through joints. And then we have all these wires here. These bridles are for the same reason. They ensure continuity through the frog, which is that piece of equipment right there, and from the main line into the turnout. This is the turnout, and that's the main line. And yes, I have proper on-track safety to be out here. The frog, for a lot of you who don't know, is called that because it resembles the bottom, the underside, I should say, of a horse's hoof, and that is called the frog, where the horse's hoof comes to a point. I know all my friends who are cowgirls and cowboys, a lot of the people I grew up with, will know what I'm talking about. The only reason I know it's because my dad used to be a horseshoer. But anyway, just thought I'd highlight a little of the damage these things do. Now I've got to go get my stuff out, get those bonds put on, and it also looks like they've cut in a new piece of rail right here, and it hasn't been bonded. They did that last Wednesday while I didn't have a truck and was stuck in the office because I didn't have a ride. So anyway, I'll get my stuff out and get that all taken care of, get on my testing. See y'all later. This is a Loram Shoulder Ballast Cleaner. And they go through and the ballast starts getting fouled. You don't want dirt in the ballast if possible. You want the rock to be clean, you want the ballast to be clean so it doesn't settle and doesn't have movement, and it doesn't, when it rains, it doesn't create mud holes. Mud holes are very bad for the track structure, switches, tracks themselves. But anyway, there's the buckets that they scoop the ballast up, distribute it onto that series of conveyors, and it knocks the dirt out of it the further it goes down, and then dumps it out down at the end. I guess that guy down there is working on a shoulder spreader similar to the ones that they use on the regulators, but it's more just to keep the ballast in place, and that machine down there, the ballast distribution system, which I'll go down there and look at it, film it here in a minute. But anyway, this is a pretty extensive piece of equipment. I've never seen it work. I've never seen either of these pieces of equipment work. But pretty trick stuff. I'm up here in Tehachapi. They got some equipment parked here. I wasn't sure what it was, so I asked the people that run them. This is a ballast distribution system, and it after the shoulder cleaner comes through here, this machine will come through and spread the ballast. You can see it has the spreaders right there, like a ballast regulator has. Forms the shoulders of the ballast up. I've never seen this piece of machinery work. And then down there behind it, there's another camper parked down there behind it. But anyway, this is a ballast distribution system. And this is the shoulder ballast cleaner at work. Down here by Mojave, just north of Arroyo Road. Got a signalman following him. He should be down there clearing that crossing, but he's not. Got a little water sprayer there, a little dust control. Bucket wheel. Lifts the ballast. Up onto that conveyor system, you can see the rocks. Go up there, filters out the dirt, dumps it back down, runs up, comes back out, fills the shoulder back up, and there's where all the dirt goes. Off the side of the track. That is pretty trick. It's got the little spreader there. Put the ballast back where it's supposed to be. They turned it off so they wouldn't get me. Well, that's nice of them. I didn't care, whatever. A hell of a lot dirtier than that. But anyway, pretty cool little shot of the shoulder ballast cleaning system. I guess that's where the honchos work. Anyhow, another piece of the day in the desert.